That feeling of being pulled away from your family, it's not a personal failure. It is a quantum event. Your consciousness has begun to operate at a new observer frequency, and this is the physical, undeniable result. The separation you feel is not happening in your mind. It is happening in reality itself, because you are now observing a different one. This is not spirituality as a philosophy. This is a direct consequence of the observer effect, a foundational, non-negotiable principle of quantum physics proven by the double-slit experiment over a century ago. This is science. In the next hour, I am going to give you the full explanation for why this painful, disorienting separation is happening. You will learn precisely why it is not a sign that you are broken, but rather undeniable proof that your creative power has reached a critical threshold. We will dismantle the guilt, the confusion, and the loneliness piece by piece, until you see this isolation not as a curse, but as your final liberation. This is not about learning to cope. This is about learning to comprehend the physics of your own power. The observer effect is the source code of your reality, and it is brutally simple. Before observation, everything in the universe exists as a pure wave of potential, an infinite menu of possibilities. It is not solid. It is not fixed. It is a cloud of what could be. The moment a conscious observer you looks at it, that wave of potential collapses into a single physical event, a particle, a tangible experience. Your attention, your focus, your observation is the force that chooses one reality out of infinity and makes it real. You are not living in a reality. You are collapsing it into existence, moment by moment, with your focus. If you've ever felt this inexplicable pull away from the reality you grew up in, hit the like button now. It signals that this message of validation needs to reach others feeling the same way. This is why you have been feeling so profoundly alone. It's the reason why family dinners have become exercises in navigating emotional minefields. It's why conversations that were once easy and flowing are now stilted, shallow, and impossible. You feel like an alien in your own home because you are, on a fundamental physical level, trying to observe and collapse one reality while they are collectively observing and collapsing another. You are no longer pointing your consciousness at the same wave of potential. Let's make this real. Think of the last holiday dinner. The table is set with the same food, the same stories are being told, the same old family dynamics are playing out like a well-rehearsed show. But for you, it's like watching it through a thick pane of glass. You are there physically, but your energy, your very essence, is somewhere else entirely. You try to engage, but the topics feel meaningless. Politics, gossip, complaints about the weather. It all feels like a foreign language describing a world you no longer inhabit. You feel invisible because the person you are becoming has no place, no role in the reality being projected at that table. That is not a failure of love. It is a decoherence of worlds. Or consider the phone call with a parent or a sibling. You've just had a breakthrough, a profound realization about your life, your purpose, your energy. You are vibrating with the excitement of it. You dial their number, your heart full, wanting to share this incredible part of yourself. But as they answer, you hear the familiar tone, the familiar energetic signature of their world, and your throat closes. You can't say it. It's not that you're afraid of their judgment, not exactly. It's that you instinctively know the words will not land. They are data packets for a different operating system. So you talk about work. You talk about your car. You hang up feeling a hollow ache in your chest, the quiet grief of being unable to share your soul with the people who gave you your body. The most potent moment often comes when you're alone, driving home from a family gathering, sitting in the silence of your own space, and the full weight of the schism hits you. It's a feeling of profound, tectonic separation, a deep, undeniable knowing that the path you are on is diverging, irrevocably, from theirs. It's a heartbreaking realization, but beneath the grief there is a whisper of something else, freedom, a strange, terrifying, exhilarating sense of being untethered. You are no longer anchored to their reality, and that is the most frightening and most powerful thing you have ever felt. This experience is so common, yet so misunderstood. So many of you are asking, why spiritual awakening causes isolation? Let's break down the physics of it. Imagine that reality is a radio. For generations, your entire family lineage has been collectively tuned to the same station. Let's call it 98.7 FM. It's a powerful broadcast, strengthened by decades of shared observation, shared beliefs, shared stories, shared traumas, and shared limitations. The songs that play on this station are familiar. They are the songs of, "This is just how our family is. This is how the world works. Don't get your hopes up." It's a stable, predictable frequency. It is the energetic home you were born into. Your spiritual journey, your healing, your expansion of consciousness, all of that seeking has been you, unconsciously at first, and then, with more intention, reaching for the tuning dial on your own receiver, you started to question the songs. You started to get tired of the static-filled commercials of fear and limitation. You felt a deep yearning for a different kind of music, so you began to turn the dial. At first, all you got was static. This was the period of confusion, the arguments, the feeling of not fitting in, the awkward silences. That static was the sound of you being in between frequencies. You were no longer fully locked onto their 98.7 FM, but you hadn't yet found a new clear channel. It was a noisy, disorienting, and lonely place to be. Then, one day, you turned the dial just a little further, and something incredible happened. You locked onto a new frequency, 104.3 FM. The static disappeared, replaced by a signal of profound clarity, peace, and resonance. The music playing on this station is the music of your soul. It speaks of possibility, of sovereignty, of unconditional love, of your infinite nature. It feels like home in a way that 98.7 FM never, ever did. The problem is, you are standing in a living room where everyone else is still listening to and broadcasting 98.7 FM, and they can't hear what you're hearing. They just think you've gone silent. By the end of this video, you will no longer see yourself as the black sheep. That is a label assigned by the old frequency to describe something it cannot understand. You will understand yourself as the quantum pioneer of your lineage, the scout sent out from the tribe to see if another reality was possible. You were the one brave enough to turn the dial, to endure the static, and to lock onto a new frequency. The separation you feel is not a punishment. It is the distance you had to travel to find that new world. It is the ultimate validation of your success. So if your consciousness, your act of observation, is what collapses a wave of infinite potential into a single, concrete reality, what happens when a group of observers get together? What happens when an entire family, for generations, agrees to observe the same thing? They create a fortress. They create a reality so dense, so stable, so reinforced by collective observation that it feels like the only reality that could possibly exist. This is the physics of tradition. It's the physics of culture. It's the physics of the family dinner table, where the same stories are told, the same beliefs are affirmed, and the same limitations are silently agreed upon, year after year after year. In quantum mechanics, this is called a coherent system. Imagine a perfectly still pond at dawn. The water is so placid it's like a sheet of black glass. Every molecule is in harmony with every other molecule. This is your family's shared reality. It is a state of high coherence, a powerful, stable agreement. For decades, you were part of that system. Your own observation was just another molecule in the pond, contributing to the stillness, reflecting the same sky. But then, you began to change. Your inner work, your healing, your awakening. It wasn't just a new set of beliefs. It was a fundamental change in the quality of your observation. You began to look at the world, at yourself, at the very nature of possibility. With new eyes, you were no longer just a water molecule. You became something else. You became a stone dropped into the center of that placid pond, and your new observation began to send out ripples. This is a physical process called quantum decoherence. It's what happens when a coherent system interacts with its environment and loses its unified state. Your new frequency, your new observation of reality, is a new piece of information introduced into their closed system. Your ripple of possibility begins to interfere with their pattern of certainty. At first, the disturbance is small. They might not even notice it. But you keep observing your new reality. You keep holding your new frequency. The ripples get stronger. They travel further. They start to disrupt the stillness at the edges of the pond. Suddenly, their perfectly reflected sky looks distorted. This is why the tension began. This is why the argument started over things that were never arguments before. They are not reacting to you, the person. They are reacting to the decoherence. Their coherent system, their collective reality, is feeling the interference pattern of your new one. And its automatic response is to try and restore the stillness, to get you to stop making ripples, to get you to become a simple water molecule again, reflecting their sky. They need you to agree with their observation so the fortress can remain secure. But you can't. To do so would be to deny the reality you have now witnessed, the frequency you have now embodied. The separation you feel is the physical space opening up between your ripple and their stillness. This process is what I call the observer frequency schism. Let's define this, because giving it a name gives you power over it. The observer frequency schism is a macro-level decoherence event that occurs in a tightly bound social system, like a family. It is triggered when one member's sustained, high-amplitude observation of a different reality becomes so powerful that it can no longer be integrated into the group's coherent field. It is the precise moment when two realities can no longer overlap. It is the fork in the quantum road. Your observation is pulling one set of potentials from the wave function, and their collective observation is pulling another. The schism is the point where the universe must honor both choices by creating two distinct experiential pathways. This is, in essence, the answer to the question, why my family doesn't understand my spiritual journey. It's not a lack of love. It's not a failure of communication. It is a mismatch of physics. They are physically incapable of perceiving the reality you are now observing because their consciousness is collapsed around a different one. And this framework reveals precisely why all the old advice you've been given has failed you. It was destined to fail because it was advice for fixing a psychological problem, and you are dealing with a quantum phenomenon. Let's take the first piece of common advice. Just find common ground. This fails because there is no common ground left. The observer frequency schism means your respective realities have diverged to a point where the shared data points are vanishing. You are trying to talk about the possibilities of interstellar travel, and they are focused on the importance of maintaining the lawn. Both are valid observations within their respective realities, but they do not compute in the other's system. You are operating from different sets of quantum information. The awkward silence at the dinner table isn't a lack of things to say. It's the sound of two realities failing to find a point of contact. It is a data void. Think of a time you tried to find common ground with family, and it just felt like you were speaking a different language. What if you weren't failing to connect, but succeeding at holding your new frequency? The second piece of failed advice: just be the bigger person, tolerate their views. This feels so draining, so inauthentic, because it asks you to perform an act of quantum betrayal. It asks you to lower your frequency, to temporarily suspend your observation of what you know to be true, and pretend to inhabit their reality. It's like being a color television set, trying to pretend it can only display black and white. You can do it for a little while, but the internal conflict is immense. It creates an energetic dissonance that leaves you feeling exhausted and untrue to yourself. You are not being the bigger person. You are actively suppressing the power of your own consciousness, and your soul registers this as an act of violence against itself. And the third, most painful piece of advice: try to explain it to them, help them see. This is the most futile of all. Remember the radio metaphor. You are now broadcasting a clear, powerful signal at 104.3 FM. Their radios have been locked on 98.7 FM for generations. The dial is rusted in place. When you try to explain your reality, you are sending a high-fidelity signal that their receiver is simply not built to decode. It isn't that they refuse to listen, it's that all they can possibly hear is static. Your words about energy, consciousness, and new possibilities are just noise interfering with their broadcast. And the more you try to turn up your volume to be heard, the more they experience it as an annoying, disruptive force. You cannot explain a new reality to someone who is not tuned to its frequency. So, what is the solution? This is where everything changes. The solution is not to try and fix the connection. The solution is not to find a way back to their frequency. The solution is to strengthen your own broadcast. This is the new paradigm. Your work is no longer about them. The constant effort of trying to manage their reactions, trying to make them understand, trying to win their approval, That is the past. That was the struggle of someone who didn't understand the physics of what was happening. You are no longer that person. Your entire purpose now is to turn your attention away from their radio station and focus completely on your own. It is not about building bridges back to their old world. It is about building your new world so solidly, so beautifully, so completely, that it becomes its own gravitational center. Your work is to inhabit your frequency with such totality that it becomes an unshakable, self-sustaining reality. You stop trying to convince them your music is real, and you just start dancing to it. You stop trying to describe the colors you see and you just start painting with them. The separation is not a problem to be solved. It is a space to be filled with you. We have been operating under a fundamental illusion, an illusion so powerful, so deeply embedded in our emotional DNA, that it has defined your entire experience of this separation. The illusion is this: you feel that you have been pushed away. You feel that your family, the system you were born into, has rejected you, misunderstood you, or exiled you. You see yourself as the object of an action, the one who was left behind. The central story you tell yourself is one of loss, of a bond that was broken by them, leaving you adrift. Every ounce of evidence seems to support this story. The awkward silences, the critical comments, the feeling of being invisible in your own home, it all points to a single and painful conclusion: they moved away from you. But the quantum truth is far more radical. It is so counterintuitive that it will feel like a lie at first. Breathe with me for a moment. Let that old story of rejection just hang in the air. Now let it dissolve, because the truth is the precise opposite of what you have experienced. Your consciousness, through your dedicated inner work, your relentless questioning, your refusal to accept a reality that felt untrue. It became so powerful, so coherent, and so high in its vibratory amplitude that you began to project a new reality with unstoppable force. You did not wander away from their world. You projected a new one into existence. Their reality, the one held in place by generations of collective observation, simply could not contain the power of what you were becoming, the schism, the separation, the painful gap you feel. It wasn't them pushing you out. It was you, in your power, birthing a reality so new and so different that their world could no longer reach you. You initiated the schism, not with your weakness, but with your power. Let that sink into the deepest part of you. This is not a metaphor. This is the physics of the situation. You are not the victim of this separation. You are its cause. You are the epicenter of the quantum event that is reshaping your life. And this changes everything. This means that the searing pain of loneliness you have felt is not a sign of your failure. It is a direct physical measurement of your creative power. The greater the chasm you feel between you and them, the more powerful your observational energy has become. The ache of being misunderstood is the echo of a new world being born from within you. The grief you feel is not for a home you lost, but for a home you have outgrown with such force that its walls could no longer stand. What if all the pain you felt from this separation isn't a measure of what you've lost, but a direct measurement of the energetic power you've gained? This means the isolation was not a punishment. It was a necessary incubation period. A reality as new and pristine as the one you are observing cannot be born in the noisy, chaotic environment of an old frequency. It required a quantum vacuum. It required you to be alone. The loneliness was the sacred, protective space your higher self carved out for you, ensuring that your new reality could form without interference, without being collapsed back into the old pattern by the overwhelming gravity of their shared observation. You were not abandoned. You were placed in incubation. This means you have graduated. You have fulfilled the energetic contracts of your lineage. Every family system operates under a set of energetic laws, beliefs, and observational patterns passed down through generations. Your role was not to perpetuate them. Your role was to transcend them. The observer frequency. Schism is your graduation ceremony. It is the universe handing you a diploma that says, you have learned all you can from this system. You are now free to create from a new set of laws, your own. The feeling of separation is the feeling of walking off that stage, diploma in hand, and leaving the old school behind forever. And finally, this means you are now a sovereign creator. For your entire life, your reality has been co-created anchored, and heavily influenced by the powerful broadcast of your family system. You are a boat tied to a very large dock. The schism is the moment your rope was severed. For a moment, it feels terrifying. You are adrift. But that feeling is the precursor to the greatest realization of all. You are unanchored and you are free. You are no longer bound by the gravitational pull of their reality. You are now a sovereign, energetic body in the cosmos, free to navigate by your own light, free to set a course for any reality you choose to observe into being. This new understanding demands a radical shift in your approach. Your work is no longer to fix what is broken. It is no longer to build bridges back to a shore you have already left. It is no longer to try and repair the connection with your family. That is the old paradigm of effort. Your only work now is to inhabit your new reality so fully, to broadcast your new frequency so clearly and joyfully that it becomes your unshakable home. Think of our radio metaphor. The old approach was to get out of your car, walk over to theirs, and frantically try to convince them to tune their dial to 104.3 FM. You'd bang on their window, shouting about how amazing the music is on your new station, while they stare back, confused, listening happily to 98.7 FM. It's exhausting, pointless, and makes them think you've gone crazy. The new approach: just enjoy the music. Turn up the volume of your own station. Feel its rhythm in your bones. Let its beauty bring tears to your eyes. Vibrate with it. Become it. When you inhabit your own frequency with that much love and conviction, the need to convince anyone of anything simply dissolves. You are no longer trying to pull them into your reality. You are simply and powerfully living it. The schism is not a problem to be solved. It is a new territory to be explored. This brings us to a final, sacred act of transformation, the claiming of a new identity. For years, you have carried the heavy cloak of old identities, the misunderstood child, the black sheep, the family disappointment, the difficult one, the one who is too sensitive or too much. These are the names of the victim. They are the labels of the exile. They are heavy, dense tahu, and they belong to the old world. Right now, you can let them go. Envision these labels as heavy stones you have been carrying in a backpack. Feel their weight. Acknowledge what they taught you about endurance. And now, with reverence, take that backpack off and set it down. You no longer need it. You have crossed the river. Your true identity is waiting. It is the quantum pioneer. You are the one who was brave enough to journey into the unknown wilderness of consciousness, leaving the comfort of the known world behind. You are the scout sent ahead by your lineage, whether they know it or not, to find new territory for the human soul. Your true identity is the lineage breaker. You are the one who consciously or unconsciously said, "This pattern of limitation stops with me. This frequency of suffering ends here." You are the one who absorbed generations of energetic density and, through your own spiritual alchemy, transmuted it into light. You are the one who answered a higher call. This separation was never a personal failing. It was your soul's assignment. This was a sacred rite of passage, disguised as a family crisis. You are not the one who got lost. You are the one who found the way. This isn't just a theory. This is not a comforting metaphor I invented to make you feel better. The proof of the observer frequency, schism, is already all over your life. You have been walking through the evidence for months, maybe years. You've just been misinterpreting the signs. You have been cataloging the proof of your power as evidence of your failure. But that ends now. I am going to give you 3 unmistakable signs that you are experiencing this exact quantum event right now. And as I describe them, you will feel a profound sense of recognition. You will realize you have not been going crazy. You have been going quantum. These signs are the quantum echoes of your new frequency bouncing off the structure of their old reality. You've been hearing them as noise, as static, as pain. From today forward, you will learn to recognize them as proof. The first and most common sign is what I call the conversation void. This is the strange, hollow feeling that settles over a conversation with a family member. It's the palpable awkwardness at the holiday dinner table. You are surrounded by the people who have known you your entire life, and yet you have nothing to say. You try. You reach for a topic, something neutral, something from the past. You talk about the weather, an old memory, a trivial piece of news, and for a moment, it seems to work. But then, the conversation hits a wall and falls into a void. A silence hangs in the air that is so heavy, so dense, it feels like a physical presence. You remember dinners from 10, 15 years ago. The laughter, the arguments, the flow of shared stories that created a single, coherent world. Now you sit at that same table, and it feels like you are separated from them by invisible glass. You can see them, you can hear the words, but you can't feel the meaning. You try to share something that truly excites you, a new insight, a project you're passionate about. Their eyes glaze over, not out of malice, but genuine incomprehension. It's as if you've started speaking a language they've never heard. So you retreat, you fall silent, you eat your food and count the minutes until you can leave. You feel invisible. You feel like a ghost at your own family's feast. This is not a failure of connection. This is a data gap. The conversation void is the direct and observable result of two realities, having so few overlapping data points that a sustained dialogue is no longer possible. Your reality is being built from observation points of consciousness, expansion, and quantum possibility. Their reality is built from observation points of tradition, history, and a shared material consensus. The empty space in the conversation is a quantum echo. It is the sound of two separate worlds brushing up against each other and finding no common ground to stand on. It is the clearest sign that the observer frequency schism has already occurred. You haven't failed to connect. You have simply tuned to a broadcast so clear and so powerful on your end that the old familiar station is now just static. The second sign is far more jarring. It feels personal. It feels like an attack. I call it the immune response. This is when a family member, perhaps one you were once very close to, suddenly criticizes your life choices with an uncharacteristic and shocking intensity. It could be your new career path, your choice of partner, your spiritual practices, or your decision to move to a new city. These are choices that emanate from your new frequency, your authentic self. But to the family system, they are perceived as a threat. The criticism that comes your way is not a logical or loving expression of concern. It has a frantic, almost panicked energy behind it. It feels disproportionate. It feels cruel. You get off the phone with your mother after telling her about your new wellness business, and instead of curiosity, you're met with a barrage of fear and judgment. Why would you throw away your stable career? That sounds like a cult. You're going to end up with nothing. You feel a dagger in your heart. You feel profoundly misunderstood and attacked by the very person who was supposed to be your safe harbor. Or you bring your new partner to a family gathering, someone who truly sees you and supports your growth, and you can feel the subtle, and sometimes not so subtle, waves of disapproval. They find fault where there is none. They project their own fears onto your happiness. This is not a personal attack. I need you to hear this. It is the collective reality's immune system detecting your new frequency as a foreign agent and trying to neutralize it. A healthy immune system attacks anything that doesn't share its core signature. Your family's shared reality has been a coherent system for generations. Your new way of being, your new way of observing the world is so different, so high frequency, that it introduces decoherence. It is a powerful new signal that threatens to destabilize their entire broadcast. Their criticism, their judgment, their panic, it is a direct measurement of how powerfully your new reality is challenging their old one. It is an energetic antibody response. The vehemence of their reaction is not a sign of your wrongness. It is a testament to the undeniable power of your frequency. In the comments, share which of these three signs you have been misinterpreting as a personal problem. Let's create a testament to how real this phenomenon is. I want to witness your aha moments. The third sign is the most physical. It is undeniable proof written into the cells of your body. It is the energy hangover. You spend an hour, maybe two, with your family. On the surface, it might even be pleasant. No arguments, no overt criticism, just small talk. But the moment you get in your car to drive away, an incredible weight descends upon you. It's an exhaustion so profound, it feels like you've run a marathon. Your mind is foggy, your emotions are flat or agitated, and your body feels heavy, dense, and drained. You get home and you can barely function. All you want to do is sleep, to disconnect, to just be alone in a quiet room for hours, sometimes days, to feel like yourself again. You've probably told yourself you're just an introvert, or that family gatherings are naturally tiring. But this is something else entirely. This is a biophysical event. This is the energetic cost of trying to operate your high-frequency consciousness within their lower-frequency field. Think of it like this. Your consciousness has evolved to become a supercomputer, processing vast amounts of subtle energy and information. Their collective reality is like an old electrical grid with a weak ore of fluctuating current. When you plug your supercomputer into that grid, it doesn't just fail to operate at peak capacity. The effort of constantly down-regulating your own system to match theirs creates a massive energy drain. That exhaustion is not in your head. It is physical proof of the frequency mismatch. The energy hangover is your body's way of screaming the truth. We are not compatible with this environment anymore. It is the most visceral quantum echo, the feeling of your own wave function struggling to maintain its shape in a sea of interference. Honoring that exhaustion is honoring the truth of your evolution. These are not random, unrelated experiences. They are a pattern. They are the diagnostic markers of the observer frequency schism. And now that you can see them, you can shift from being a victim of these circumstances to a conscious observer of the physics at play. The framework is simple. Your new job is to decode, not to react. When you feel the conversation void and the silence in the room feels heavier than any words could be, recognize the data gap. Say to yourself, my reality and their reality no longer share enough data points for a bridge. This is not a failure. It is physics. When you face the immune response and a criticism feels deeply personal and unjust, recognize your power. Say to yourself, their system is detecting the strength of my signal. This attack is not about me. It is a measure of how profoundly I have changed reality. It is an echo of my own power. And when you get the energy hangover and the exhaustion feels bone deep and overwhelming, recognize the frequency mismatch. Say to yourself, my body is giving me undeniable proof of my evolution. This exhaustion is the energetic cost of trying to fit into a reality that is no longer my size. It is time to return home to my own frequency. This changes everything. You are no longer stumbling through a painful family drama. You are a physicist in your own laboratory, observing the evidence of a successful experiment. You understand this with your mind. You have seen the evidence in your life. The echoes of your new frequency are undeniable, but understanding is not the same as embodying. Seeing is not the same as being. So now, we are going to move beyond theory, beyond evidence. We are going to anchor this truth in every cell of your body, in the very fabric of your energetic field. We are going to calibrate your inner broadcast tower. If it is safe for you to do so, and only if you feel ready, I invite you to gently close your eyes. Let go of the screen. Let go of the room around you. Take a slow, deep breath in, and as you exhale, release the need to analyze. Release the need to figure anything out. For the next few moments, your only job is to feel, to allow. Bring your awareness to the space your body occupies. Feel the weight of it, the simple, solid fact of your own presence. And now, I want you to gently cast your awareness backward, not into a specific memory, but into a feeling. The feeling of your family's reality. Think of it as a sound, a low, continuous hum that has been playing in the background for your entire life, the frequency of your lineage. For a moment, just listen to it. Don't judge it. Don't resist it. Feel its texture. It might feel heavy, dense. It might feel safe, familiar, like an old blanket. It might feel restrictive. It might feel like home, or like a room you have long since outgrown. Whatever it is, just allow it to be there. This is the radio station that played in your home, the broadcast of shared beliefs, shared fears, shared stories, and shared limitations. It is the energetic weather system you grew up in. And for a moment, simply acknowledge it. With a silent breath, offer it gratitude. This frequency gave you life. It gave you context. It shaped the person you were, so that you could become the person you now are. It was the solid ground from which you launched. Thank you, I see you. I honor the role you played. You are not fighting this frequency. You are not trying to destroy it. You are simply acknowledging it as something separate from you now. It is the background noise of a world you used to inhabit. And now, with that acknowledgement complete, I want you to draw your awareness inward, deep inside your own being. Somewhere within your personal field, a new signal is being broadcast. Your sovereign frequency. Let's find it. Begin to scan your body with your inner attention. as if you are slowly turning the dial on a radio, searching for a clear station. Move past the static of stray thoughts. Move past the faint broadcast of that old lineage frequency. You are searching for a feeling. Where does it live in you? Perhaps it's a feeling of warmth and expansion in the center of your chest. A quiet sun, gently glowing. Perhaps it's a feeling of calm, centered clarity in your gut. A deep, still lake. Perhaps you feel it as a subtle vibration behind your eyes. A hum of knowingness that is all your own. Maybe it isn't a feeling at all. Maybe it's a color. A brilliant, clean light that only you can see. Maybe it's a sound. A single, pure tone. There is no right answer. Just your answer. Gently scan your inner landscape until you find it. That signature feeling of your truth, the feeling of your soul. When you find it, rest your attention there. Don't force it. Don't grasp it. Just notice it. This small point of light, this quiet hum, this gentle warmth. This is you. This is your true home frequency. This is the broadcast of your authentic self. Now, we are going to gently turn up the volume. We are going to amplify your signal, keeping your attention resting on that feeling. I want you to breathe into it. Imagine that with every inhale, you are drawing energy and light directly into that point. And with every exhale, you are allowing that feeling to expand, just a little bit at first, like a sunrise. It doesn't happen all at once, it happens gently, inevitably. Breathe in and the point of light gets a little brighter. Breathe out and its radius expands by an inch. That old lineage frequency is still there, in the background. But you are not focused on it. Your attention, your immense creative power, is now focused entirely on amplifying your own signal. Breathe in, and the warmth in your chest fills your entire torso. Breathe out, and it begins to flow down your arms and legs. You are not fighting anything. You are simply growing. You are simply becoming more of who you already are. Feel your signal expanding now, a sphere of pure energy growing from your core, filling every cell of your body with its light, its peace, its clarity. It pushes the old heavy frequency out to the very edges of your awareness, and then beyond, not with force, but with presence. The way light fills a dark room. The darkness doesn't fight back. It simply ceases to be where the light is. Feel your frequency now, strong, clear, unmistakable. It is filling your entire body. It is radiating a few inches beyond your skin. It is a stable, powerful broadcast. Now for the final step, the most important realization. Stay with this feeling and understand this truth. You are not in your body, feeling this signal. You are not creating this frequency. The separation between you and this feeling is an illusion. Dissolve it now. You are not listening to the frequency. You are the frequency. You are not observing the signal. You are the signal. This feeling of peace, of clarity, of freedom. It is not something you have. It is what you are. This is your home. This is your reality. This is your true state of being. Take a deep breath into this knowing. This is the truth of you. And from this place of total embodiment, I want you to gently begin to bring your awareness back to the physical sensations of your body, back to the space you are in, keeping your eyes closed for just a moment longer. As you come back to this space, what one word defines the feeling of your own? True frequency, freedom, peace, clarity. Hold that word. That is your new home. When you feel ready, you can slowly and gently open your eyes. Welcome back. You have felt your true frequency. This is your new ground of being. You are the quantum architect of your reality. And now, we will give you the tools you will use to build it. The time for passively observing the schism is over. The time for actively designing your new world has begun. These are not coping mechanisms. They are principles of quantum construction. So, how to deal with family after spiritual awakening in a way that's both loving and self-honoring. Let's get practical with our first tool. We will call it the harmonic boundary. This is not a wall. It is not a shield. Walls and shields are built from fear, from a need to keep something out. They are statements of resistance, which only strengthens the thing you are resisting. A harmonic boundary is different. It is a conscious, loving projection of your own frequency field. It is not designed to block their reality, but to make your reality so coherent, so stable, that theirs simply cannot penetrate it. It's the difference between building a dam and becoming the ocean. One struggles against the pressure, the other simply is. Here is how you build it, step by step. Before you enter an interaction with family, find a quiet space, even if it's just for 60 seconds in your car before walking into their house. Step 1. Place your hand on your heart or wherever you felt your own frequency most strongly during our meditation. Close your eyes. Step 2. Recall the feeling of your frequency. Don't just think about it. Feel it. Access the somatic signature. Is it warmth? Is it a sense of expansion in your chest? Is it the quiet hum of peace? Reignite that sensation until it feels real, present, and alive within you. Step 3. Now visualize this feeling as a light that originates from that point of contact and begins to expand. See it filling your entire body, every cell vibrating with this signature energy, this truth. Step 4. Project that light outward. Allow it to expand beyond your skin, creating a bubble of resonant energy around you, perhaps 3 to 4 feet in every direction. This is your harmonic field. See it, feel it. It is not static, it is shimmering, alive, broadcasting your truth outward. You are now sitting inside your own sovereign reality. Step 5. Set the intention for this boundary. You might say silently to yourself, only that which is in harmony with this frequency may enter my field. I interact with love, but I remain anchored in my own reality. You are not rejecting them. You are simply choosing to not leave yourself. The most common mistake with this tool is creating it from a place of fear or annoyance. You try to build a hard, rigid shell to protect yourself, but this rigidity makes it brittle. It is an act of opposition, and it will crack under pressure, leaving you drained. The key is to generate the boundary from a place of love for your own frequency. It should feel like a warm, glowing, flexible sphere of light, not a suit of armor. You aren't defending yourself from them. You are celebrating and inhabiting yourself. From within this space, you can be present, you can be loving, you can listen, but you will not be pulled out of tune. The second tool is the frequency anchor. After a difficult or draining interaction, even with the best harmonic boundary, you can feel your signal begin to fade. You get pulled back into the static of the old lineage frequency. The energy hangover begins to set in. You need a way to rapidly recalibrate, to find your way back home to your own signal. This is that tool. A frequency anchor is a pre-chosen sensory trigger that is energetically bonded to your sovereign frequency. It's your emergency retuning button. First, you must choose your anchor. It can be a physical object, a crystal, a small stone, a piece of jewelry. It can be a piece of music that instantly evokes that feeling of freedom and clarity. It can be a specific memory, a moment in your life when you felt most purely yourself. Or most powerfully, it can be the single word you identified at the end of our meditation. That word, freedom, peace, clarity, is a potent vibrational command. Here is how you use it. When you feel yourself drifting, when the exhaustion and disorientation set in, excuse yourself. Go to the bathroom, step outside, find a moment alone. Step 1. Hold your anchor, or bring the music, memory, or word to your mind. Engage with it completely. If it's a stone, feel its texture, its temperature. If it's a word, repeat it silently, slowly, letting the vibration of it fill your inner space. Step 2. As you focus on the anchor, intentionally link it to the feeling of your frequency. Remember what it felt like to be inside that bubble of light. The anchor is the key. The feeling is the door it unlocks. Pour your attention into the anchor until you feel that familiar shift, that click. As your energy snaps back into alignment. Step 3. Breathe. Take 3 deep, conscious breaths, and with each exhale, feel your frequency expanding again, pushing out the static and dissonance. You are recalibrating your broadcast in real time. What is the first ancestral pattern or energetic contract that you now give yourself permission to release, with gratitude, starting today? The common mistake here is using the anchor mechanically. You pull out the stone and just hope it works. It won't. The anchor has no power on its own. Its power comes from the conscious bond you have created with it. It is a tool for focusing your attention. You must actively participate, using the anchor as a focal point to deliberately re-invoke the feeling of your true self. Don't expect the anchor to do the work for you. Use the anchor to help you do the work. Finally, the third and most profound tool, the gratitude release ritual. This is how you consciously and lovingly sever the old energetic obligations that keep you tethered to the lineage frequency. This isn't about cutting ties with people. It is about dissolving the invisible energetic contracts of guilt, duty, and expectation. This turns a painful separation into a sacred act of completion. For this, you will need a pen and 2 separate pieces of paper. Create a quiet, sacred space where you will not be disturbed. Light a candle if you wish. This is a rite of passage. On the first piece of paper, you will write a title, "Everything for which I am grateful." And then you write. You pour out every single thing your family and your lineage have given you. Life itself, food, shelter, lessons, both joyful and painful, a sense of humor, the color of your eyes, the strength you developed in response to challenges they presented. Do not hold back. Fill the page with sincere, heartfelt gratitude. This step is crucial. It honors the truth that without them, you would not be who you are. Standing at this very threshold of liberation, you must honor the foundation before you can build a new house. When you feel complete, take the second piece of paper. At the top, write, "Everything I am now releasing with love." And now, you write what you are letting go of, their expectations for your life, the belief that you are responsible for their happiness, the guilt for choosing a different path, the ancestral patterns of scarcity, of anxiety, of not being enough. Name them specifically. I release the need to make my mother understand me. I release the inherited fear of being different. I release the contract that says my success must look like theirs. This is not an act of anger or blame. It is a declaration of sovereignty. You are stating that these energies have served their purpose and are no longer part of the reality you are architecting. Once you are finished, you read both lists aloud. First, the gratitude list, feeling the love and appreciation in your heart. Then, the release list, feeling the lightness and freedom in your soul. Then, you must transmute the energy. Safely burn the second list, the release list. As you watch the paper turn to ash, visualize the energetic cords attached to those patterns dissolving into light. Feel the completion. You are not destroying a part of your past. You are releasing its energetic hold on your present. The common mistake is to perform this ritual from a place of anger, making the release list a catalogue of grievances. This will not work. It will only reinforce the energetic ties. The power of this ritual is in the alchemy of gratitude. The gratitude is what allows the release to be clean, loving, and complete. It is the act of saying, "Thank you for the journey to this point. From here, I walk my own path." So how do you make this your new reality? You integrate it. This becomes a daily practice. A 5-minute morning routine. Wake up, place a hand on your heart, and activate your harmonic boundary before your feet even hit the floor. Set the intention for the day to operate from your own frequency. Your mindset for conversations shifts. You stop trying to win arguments or seek validation. Your only goal is to maintain your own harmonic state. You become an anchor of your own peace, and you find that conversations either rise to meet your frequency, or they naturally fall away without a struggle. And above all, you make a sacred commitment to honoring your energy. Your energy becomes your primary responsibility, more important than any opinion, any expectation, or any tradition. The exhaustion you used to feel was a compass, pointing you away from what was out of tune. Now, you listen to it not as a symptom of weakness, but as a sign of your energetic intelligence. You are the quantum architect, and this is how you build, not with brick and mortar, but with frequency and intention, one conscious choice at a time. You now understand the observer frequency schism. It is no longer a concept. It is a felt reality. You have witnessed the physics of it playing out in the painful voids of conversation, in the immune response of family judgment, and in the deep energetic exhaustion that followed every visit. You have moved beyond simply diagnosing the problem. You have gone deeper. You have felt your own signal, that quiet, unshakable hum of truth beneath the noise of lineage and expectation. You located it, you amplified it, and you have begun the sacred work of inhabiting it as your home. You possess the tools now, the harmonic boundary, the frequency anchor, the gratitude release ritual. These are not tricks. They are instruments of a quantum architect, your instruments. The separation is no longer your wound. Look at it now. Feel its place in your history. It has been transformed from a source of shame into a testament of your power. The distance between you and them is the undeniable physical evidence of the new world your consciousness has collapsed into being. It is your foundation. But creating your reality in isolation is only the first stage. It is the necessary stage, the one where you prove to yourself that your observation alone is enough to manifest a universe. A greater truth, however, awaits. A more expansive layer of physics is ready to be revealed. The universe never creates in a vacuum. The principles that govern reality are far more elegant, far more interconnected than you can imagine. So, the question becomes, what happens now? What happens when your new frequency, the one you fought so hard to find and stabilize, begins to interact and entangle with others who have also found this new wavelength? What happens when your broadcast tower, shining solitarily in the wilderness, suddenly detects other towers lighting up on the horizon, all broadcasting on the same channel of consciousness? This is the next horizon of your power. You learn to be a sovereign creator. Now you must learn to be a co-creator. You did not undertake this journey only to end up alone. Solitude was the training ground. Community is the purpose. You were not just a pioneer finding new land. You were the scout for a new civilization. The separation you mastered was a necessary illusion. You had to believe you were separate, to develop the strength to hold your own frequency without distortion. You had to feel the profound ache of disconnection to truly value the nature of a new connection. But the deepest law of the cosmos is not separation, it is connection. The next layer of physics we must explore is quantum entanglement, the principle that your consciousness is non-locally, instantly connected to everything else that shares its energetic state. This is the part of the science that mystics have called oneness for millennia. It is not a poetic idea. It is a measurable phenomenon. Every particle that has ever interacted is forever linked, no matter the distance. What does this mean for a consciousness? It means your lonely act of becoming a pioneer, your brave decision to turn the dial of your reality, did something extraordinary. It instantly plugged you into a silent network of every other pioneer on the planet. The moment you locked onto your new frequency, you became entangled with everyone else on that same frequency. You thought you were walking out into the wilderness, but you were actually walking into the town square of a world you couldn't yet see. This is how your soul tribe finds you. This is the mechanism behind synchronicity. It's not random. It is the universe revealing the invisible lines of entanglement that already exist between you and the people, places, and experiences that vibrate in harmony with your true self. This is where we are going next. In our next video, we will explore this network, this magnificent invisible web of light. Subscribe and activate all notifications, because the next video, Quantum Entanglement Explained, how your consciousness connects to everything, instantly, is the crucial next step. It's where your separation becomes the foundation for a new, more powerful connection. And after that, we will uncover the mechanics of divine timing in a session called Synchronicity is Simpler Than You Think. It's Pure Physics. We will dismantle the illusion of chance and show you how to read the patterns of entanglement in your daily life. The curriculum of your new reality is set. Your brave journey into the wilderness of your own soul was never just for you. You were not being punished. You were not a failure. You were an answer. You were answering a call that your lineage could not hear. You were lighting a beacon. You were holding a frequency steady in a world of static, and that act required you to stand apart for a time. But now, all across the world, other beacons are beginning to light up in response to yours. They are finding their own signal, their own truth, their own courage. That feeling you had of being an alien in your own home, that was the feeling of an emissary remembering a world their family had forgotten. Your pain was the homesickness for a reality you knew you were here to build. You are not a lone star. You are a point of light in an emerging constellation. You are not alone. You are the beginning of a new world.